Postgame show.
Shall we dance?
The Extra Point Postgame show with the Dean of Sports Talk, Steve Russell.
Anything can happen. It's gonna get crazy.
The dust is now settled, and it's time to get your thoughts, feelings, and reactions.
We really gotta get started.
Give us a call at 392-TALK. That's 392-8255.
This thing feels big. It really feels good, and everybody in town's going to be on it.
Let's turn it over to your host, Steve Russell, right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF radio app.
Welcome to our final edition of the Extra Point Postgame show here on WRUF. I'm Steve Russell. If the Gators are going to have a bad year, which they did, at least they end it with a win. They end it with a win over their rival, keeps them out of a bowl game. Our Extra Point Postgame show brought to you by Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Before we take calls, let me just again say, this show is designed for you. It is designed for you to call and give your opinions. We want your opinions, but it's going to be done the right way, in a classy way. When you call, your phone number registers. It comes up. If you call and your number does not come up, we will not take the phone call. And if you do call and go get out of line, you'll be subject to a phone conversation with the University Police Department. We don't want that. You don't want that. So let's just go from there. And obviously, Jadan Baugh, huge game, 38 carries, 266 yards. That's 7 yards a pop, folks. Lagway, 3 touchdown passes, kind of a quiet 3 touchdown passes. But the Gators end up getting the win. And much thanks, or not thanks is the wrong word, but kudos for Billy Gonzales. Good guy, put into a tough spot. It was not always pretty, but he got a win. And he got to win it as a Division I head coach. So congratulations to him. All right, if you want to call and be part of the program here, 392-8255. Monty, you'll lead off. Monty, go ahead.
Well, thanks. First of all, very happy for the win tonight. Although I have to say, I wish on that last TD that once Jadan Baugh got free, he would have gone down on a knee. There was no need to score that last touchdown. I thought back to the time when Gunnar Stockton did the same thing when we were playing Georgia. There was nothing to be gained by making that last touchdown. We were already up 2 scores. All they had to do was get a first down, take the knee, and the game's over. I just think it's not the best look. I know I'm going to be in the minority about this.
I see your point. Because it wasn't necessary to do. But I do think in this case, it's icing on the cake for the night that Jadan Baugh had. I get what you're saying. I don't have a problem with it. I don't really think Florida State would have a problem with it, but I do see your point.
Yeah, just my opinion. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Apparently, Billy Gonzales did tell him to go down, and he didn't. So... again, in the excitement of the moment, I certainly understand that. And again, great feeling to close out the season with a win. If you're a Gator fan, you can head down to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Celebration Point now, because hundreds of Gator fans just like you will be rocking till midnight. You can grab one of Steve Spurrier's head beer coach brews while you're there, like his 5220 Pale Ale, the Straight Leg Kicker, or the 1966 Lager. The victory party's going on now at Spurrier's, continues tomorrow morning also at their premium brunch buffet starting at 11 a.m. And a change to celebrate something. That's certainly good. And we will see. I got an email here from Harry who says that he's thrilled with Baugh's game, thrilled the Gators won, but it was one mediocre team against another, more pessimistic about our future than the game than I was a week ago. We're going to get a second-tier coach. Let me just stop right there. I hope that this fan base will rally around whoever it is and give the dude a chance. He hasn't coached a game here, whoever it is. We think we know who it's going to be, but I would just hope that Gator fans would rally around this new coach. And we don't know how many of these kids are going to stay. No one knows that. We wouldn't know that if Florida won 9 games. So we will see. Johnny C., what's happening?
Man, Stevie, baby, what's going on, man? Hey, listen, Steve, I just want to, appreciate you, man, for the job you do throughout the year, man, and the calls you take and your patience, brother. Listen, I just want to dovetail your sentiments about, the first email. I mean, that's part of it. To me, can I get my own opinion? That's part of what's wrong with our fan base. Everything is always so, the dungeon the last, it's been tough, but, we haven't even hired a guy. And here we go again. I'm an avid Gator fan. I just wish whoever's coming this way the best, because I'm a full-fledged Gator fan. I don't make a judgment before they even get here. Man, 2-tier, whatever that is. But go Gators. That was a good game. We end the year with a win over the Seminoles. What more can you ask for after this rough and tumble football season that we've had? I mean, these young players have hung in there. All the adversity that they've faced, they've come to the game, they played their hearts out, whether they win or lose. We can't judge, they weren't at the game, their heads weren't there. These guys have been through a lot, and they've come to this point. They beat the Seminoles, and we should be celebrating because of that. And again, I appreciate you, Steve, and have a good year, and I'm sure we'll be talking again.
All right, Johnny C.
Man. Go Gators.
Thank you. Ronnie, welcome to the Extra Point.
Hey, Mr. Steve, how are you, sir?
Good.
I just want to say I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I want to tell you how much I love your show. I've heard about the coaching deal. I know you're probably tired of talking about this and everything, but I hear about the Tulane coach. But real quick, and I'll leave you alone. I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and he mentioned something about a guy that coaches West Virginia, Virginia Tech. His last name is Beamer. Have you heard anything about that? Go Gators. Thank you, sir.
Okay. The only Beamer is his father coached there. Beamer coaches at South Carolina. Chris, hello.
Hey, I was just wondering, how short of a leash do you think Strickland's going to be on if that whoever the coach comes in, they don't do real good? I mean, you see Strickland getting out of there, I hope?
Well, he's got a contract after, he ends his tenure as the athletic director, so he has that parachute, if you will. But this is obviously a big hire for him. And I would hope Gator fans would give this, some time to see whoever the hire is, how that coach does. And but this is a big hire for him, no doubt about it.
All right, thanks.
Okay, yep, thank you, Chris. Tony, as only Tony would tell me, he said, I would have gone for 2 after Ball's touchdown. He loves Florida State, by the way. Kate, hello.
Hi, Steve. Good to talk with you again.
Yep.
First of all, just side note, all these people who want Scott Strickland out, it's like they have a short memory that we didn't just win a national championship in men's basketball with one of his hires. So I don't understand people who want to get rid of Scott Strickland. But my question for you is, Jadan Baugh being an extraordinary player has been obvious all season. Do you feel like Florida could be in a position to retain him? Or maybe my hope is that we don't spend $12 million a year on a coach and that we go and maybe get someone more affordable so that we have more cash to have a top-of-the-line roster and to retain great talents like Baugh. What do you think?
That is the dilemma, Kate, of athletics today, right? If you hire a so-called second-tier coach and don't spend the money to hire a top-notch coach, well, then that second-tier coach may not coach top-tier talent that you're paying as well as another coach might. That's the dilemma. I think you always go after the best coach possible. Because, look, if Lane Kiffin was going to come here and make $13 million or $14 million, that's the price of doing business. right? And then you hire the best coach you can. And then hopefully you raise enough money to be competitive when it comes to NIL.
Sure. Well, I just want to compliment the kids and the staff for clearly playing hard even when there was less on the line. Just proud to be a Gator, and thank you for all you do.
Okay. Thank you, Kate. Thank you for your call. Hi, Woody. How are you?
Hey, Steve. How are you? Hey, I got two things to say for Gator fans. Number one, unfortunately, Scott, he's going nowhere. We got no president right now. Number two, the fans going after Gary Condren, let's relax. He's our top donor. Let's just relax on that. Third of all, why is Kenny Dillingham's name not in our presence? Like, let's just throw him the bag.
Well, all right. Thank you, Woody. He ain't going to get the bag. And again, we don't know what names were bandied about. We don't know that. We speculate. I know some things. Other people know some things. But unless you're on that committee, you don't know what names were bandied about. Daryl, hello.
Hey, Steve. How you doing?
Good, Daryl.
All right, I think, man, we got to pump the brakes with this, because if we had a hiring search, I think they did their due diligence. They reached out to the coaches. If they didn't want to come here, they didn't want to come. Apparently, Lane Kiffin didn't want to come. Dillingham didn't want to come. So what is – and we have to realize Scott Strickland's not making this decision by himself. There's a committee. And so we're putting all this on him, and all the stuff I've seen on social media today, it's ridiculous. And I think there's a lot of these Johnny-come-lately Gator fans, and there's a couple former players that I've seen. Are we reaching out with money? Or are we just reaching out with our words? If you have the money, help the program. If that's what it's going to take to get a Lane Kiffin, you need the $98 million to get a coach of his caliber. So just pump the brakes, give the guy a chance, like you just said. And to me, it's just we're going overboard with a lot. Let the guy get a chance, get an offensive coordinator. Someone's going to be able to call some plays. That's the biggest dilemma. We have no one to call plays. So give the guy a chance, like you said. Gator fans, pump the brakes.
Let me tell you, though, what I think, Daryl, about any athletic director, okay? You are absolutely right. There is a committee. And let me give you an analogy. The President of the United States has cabinet members that meet, right? When a decision is made, it's the responsibility of the President. People don't say, the cabinet did that. They say the President did it. It's the same thing with an athletic director. That's the shoes you wear when you take that job.
But at the end of the day, it's not all his decision, though, right? It's not all the president's decision. He's the guy going to be.
No, it is his decision.
Absolutely.
It is the President of the United States is the ultimate authority. I mean, he gets advice, right? But in the end, the president makes a call as to whether I'm going to do this or not do this. Same thing, right? So the athletic director is the one responsible, if you will, because now there's an interim president and there's this committee and there's the money people. But in the end, you know, if this hire doesn't work, they're not going to say, oh, the committee blew it. They're going to say the athletic director blew it.
I agree with that, but let's give him a chance. And some of this stuff that's out there, you're making the guy, whoever he is, when he shows up, he's already going to be, you know, I'll be scared to come here. You know, I know it just get the territory, but come on, Gator fans. Let's just get behind him. Let's get this program back up.
All right, Daryl, thank you. Steven says, kudos to the Gator players for the level of enthusiasm they had tonight. It was impressive. Nick, hello.
Hey, Steve, Nick from New Jersey calling in again. I'm curious, given the situation Texas finds themselves in right now, what do you think about some of these non-conference matchups that we have on the books 5-6 years out? Do you think we need to start rethinking those now while we have a chance to change some of it?
Remember, they've already changed some of them, and I don't know. I don't have it in front of me as to who is playing when, but I do think in this world we're in, Nick, in terms of strength of schedule and all that, it is worth it to take a look and see, because you have to balance, right? If you're playing, depending on the SEC schedule you're playing, you have to balance that out because the committee looks at strength of schedule. So I do think you need to take a look at that, especially with games, a little further down the road. I don't think Florida's going to change Notre Dame, right? I think they're going to keep that matchup. That's a marquee matchup. But I see your point.
That's the road trip I care about. Thanks, Steve.
Okay, thanks, Nick. That's a road trip a lot of people care about. Andrew, hello.
Hey, Steve. Congratulations, Coach Gonzales and Jadan, for a great night. Hard to tell. It was hard not to see plaster all over the screen that Summerall is now the lead candidate for Florida. I don't know much about Tulane football, so could you tell me what you know about him and
Sure.
what you would expect from him if he were hired?
Sure. He is his background is on defense, but he, I think, is very willing to hire, coordinators who will do the job. For example, I have no doubt at all he would hire a quality offensive coordinator to come here. He's not going to call plays. An offensive coordinator will. I think that will, if he's the coach, I think that will happen. Okay? Okay, we lost the call here. Okay, we lost Andrew. Andrew, that was not me. We had a phone problem here, but I hope you heard me that he will hire an offensive coordinator, and it may be a name people are familiar with. John, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Steve. I tell you, I'm glad I was wrong about the Gators losing today when I called y'all on Friday on the Procrastination Friday. They won by the score I figured Florida State would beat them by. I'm happy they won. It was a bowl game and senior day all wrapped up in one form. And I tell you, I feel guilty now about razzing them every time they lost this season, because I'm sure if they listened in, it doesn't help motivate them to play the next game they got to play. And go figure this out. They beat Florida State, a team that beat Alabama. They beat Texas, the team that beat Texas A&M. I mean, these two teams are going for the big-time bowl games, and they beat teams that beat both those teams. So you go figure it. This team is much better than what people give them credit for, and if they'd been coached right and motivated right, I think it would have done a lot better. I think it would have done a lot better than they did. And I'm proud of the way they played tonight. And go Gators!
All right, John. Thank you. James says, why not Billy G as the next coach? That's not going to happen, because his reasoning is Kirby Smart had never been a head coach. And that's true. He had not, but he's not going to be. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and then we'll take calls here as we continue on the Extra Point postgame show as you listen on WRUF.
And now for a special announcement from Steve Spurrier.
Spurrier's Gridiron gift cards are on sale for 20% off. You can go to Spurriers.com and order a digital card, or stop by a restaurant in Celebration Point and pick up some today for the Gators and the people that love good food in your life. Use the code GC20 and get 20% off. That's right, 20% off gift cards with the code GC20.
Get yours today through December 1st at Spurriers.com.
Hey Gator fans, the Florida Department of Corrections wants you on our winning team. You could earn a starting salary of $22 per hour plus up to a $6,000 hiring bonus at many locations statewide. As a correctional officer, you can start a stable career in a controlled, team-oriented environment. No experience is required, and training is provided. Kickstart your career today and make a positive impact on your community. Visit FLDOCjobs.com to apply today. That's FLDOCjobs.com.
Gator Country, we're all excited about our teams on the field, but you also need to be excited to experience the new sports merchandise retailer, Rally House. Located just blocks away from the swamp, near the intersection of Buckman Drive and West University Ave, Rally House has all you need to get geared up for game day. Get a fresh fit from our new friends at Rally House. Your city, your house, Rally House.
At the UPS store, we get it. Being a small biz owner requires grit and hustle, but you don't have to do it alone. We've got your back. You put your heart and soul into your biz, we put ours into packing and shipping. While you're keeping track of your custom-made orders, our mailboxes are keeping your packages safe. Because we're here to help you be unstoppable with shredding, printing, notary, and more. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today.
The defending national champion Florida Gators are tipping off another great season. Would you like a championship entertainment experience in your home? The pros at Electronics World can connect you with Sony, LG, Samsung, Yamaha, Martin Logan, Marantz, Bowers & Wilkins, Sonos, Monitor Audio, and more. So you can immerse yourself in every slam dunk and three-pointer. From concept to design and installation, count on EW for the assist with your home entertainment. Electronics World in Gainesville or online at electronicsworld.net.
Quality is very important here at the North Pole. You see, I check my list once, twice,
All done.
Well, Santa, quality's important to us at Nissan, too. We actually test every model thousands of times. There's the frame twist test, shaker test, corrosion test, drive load test, tug-of-war test, towing test, off-roading test, practical strength test, splash test, corrugated road test, chassis dynamics test, water intrusion test, extreme heat test, extreme cold test, rough road test, jump test, curb impact test. And physical parts tests.
Save on J.D. Power's #1 mainstream brand and new vehicle quality at the Nissan year-end event. Get 0% APR on the 2026 Rogue Platinum, 2025 Murano, or Pathfinder for well-qualified buyers. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Example: 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary. Subject to NMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 12/1/25.
You're listening to The Extra Point with Steve Russell. Presented by Spurrier's Gridiron Grill on WRUF. 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF mobile app.
Welcome back to the Extra Point postgame show. Chris is up first. Chris, hello.
Hey, Steve. Question: Can maybe make some sense out of the ESPN reports to the Tulane coach who Billy Napier beat in the Gasparilla Bowl 33-8 as the front runner when he goes to Ole Miss and they get smoked 45-10, and he goes on the road to UTSA and they lose by 20 plus, versus say picking the guy out at Washington who loses to Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon today, and then they go on the road and lose at Wisconsin 13-10. I just don't understand how you take a guy that's played one ranked team versus say some other people.
Well, I mean, you could flip that around and say, if they win tonight, he's going to a conference championship game. And I think that's good. So all those things that you said, I hear, but you didn't add, they're going to play in a conference championship game if they beat Charlotte, and Charlotte's terrible. So they're going to play in that game. That's an accomplishment.
But when you beat Army, East Carolina, and the rest of
but that's who you're playing. You can't help that.
They're not ranked.
Right, but you can't help your schedule. That's the schedule they have. And I think when you hire any coach, whoever it is, your hope is that if he's good at where that coach is, that if they get better players, more money, etc., they become, successful at the next level. And if it is Summerall, and I think it's going to be, we will find out. But I'm going to say this again. I hope that every Gator fan gets behind this guy. And then we'll see what happens.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Dave, hello.
Hey, good evening, Steve. Just going to make a couple quick points about today's game and the next incoming coach.
Sure.
First of all, great game for the Gators tonight. Happy for the seniors. Definitely happy for Billy Gonzales getting that first win. I think he's done a tremendous job of holding them together. He's been nothing but class since he took that position, well-spoken, and kudos to him and what he's done. About the game, I think that's about as best as both sides of the line have played all year, except for maybe the Texas game. And I think that's what you need to do when you to having a championship team, is having solid play on both sides of the ball. And that goes for the new coach. I mean, yeah, you got to have your skill position players, your running backs, your receivers, your corners and safeties and all that. But if you don't have solid line play, which we had tonight, both sides, you're not going to win at a championship level. And that's the new incoming coach, whoever it may be, which I'm going to back 100%, just like I did Napier, even though he wasn't my first choice. And you mentioned it on Friday's show that we got to back this guy, whoever it may be. Now we're going to have our doubters out there, and that's the way it is. It's always going to be. But we've got to recruit the lines as much as the skill positions, if not more. Thanks, and have a good night. By the way, good luck and best wishes on your Jets for tomorrow's game.
Okay, thank you. I always need luck and best wishes when it comes to my Jets. Big Al, how are you?
Hey, Steve, honored to be speaking with the living legend of Gainesville radio.
Well, thank you for that.
No, seriously, you've been doing a fantastic job for how many years now?
A lot.
A lot. Anyhow, it's nice. Good job. So keep it up. I have my feedback on this whole coaching situation.
Okay.
I don't know where it got sideways, but it got sideways yesterday real fast. And I would advise Scott Strickland and Mr. Condren, you need to rethink what was done and said and got out yesterday. And you need to, I don't know who needs to apologize to who, but you need to restart this whole negotiating with Lane and his agent, because the energy and the synchronicity of everything that Florida football means, not only with Lane and his father being here in football, the Spurrier idolization that Lane had of Spurrier. Can you imagine if Lane's down the hall in the headquarters of the coaching offices and he buzzes, "Hey, Steve, come on down. Let's draw up some plays for this week." How cool would that be?
Very
How cool would that be?
But
I mean,
but Al, you can talk about
guys until it comes out of Lane Kiffin's mouth where he's going. We still have a chance. So I think we should continue that, because any other coach, the fans are not going to get behind. Lane Kiffin is the only one where it makes sense, and it's the timing of life that makes it happen, and all the synchronicity, etc. It's the right thing to do, guys. Condon and Strickland, pull your ego back a little bit. I don't know if you've been hurt emotionally from it, but go get Lane Kiffin. He's the only one that makes sense.
Well, he ain't coming out, so he ain't coming. So I'm just telling you that.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. It's that's the only move that I could see coming. Okay. And what a bonehead thing to do to get another guy out of that crappy conference.
Right.
It's like, come on, you guys can do better than that.
Thank you for your call, Al. Quentin, hello.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for having me. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I was calling just to say that how proud I am of the Florida Gator football team tonight. Great win. Just great motivation from the team. The support there from the fans. It just shows you what great fans we have at Florida. I mean, being a booster, this is my 9th year. I'm hoping to make it to my 10th year. I got concerns about the coach, but, I've been doing this for 9 years. What my kids bring from it, the players we get to meet, the people we meet is the biggest thing. But I just want to say to the fans, you got to think that this next coach is coming in is going to inherit some great talent if we can retain them.
Right. That's you just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. I mean, I am upset. Don't get me wrong. I have a pretty good circle. I mean, I know that Buddy Martin, the Franz Beards, I hear you on his show. A lot of us thought it was Lane Kiffin, and whether or not it was a booster or whatever, we got to get past that.
That's right.
And I do want to ask you if one booster has that much power, I'm not saying he does or doesn't, but if a booster has that much power, we need to figure out how we can fix that, because that could be a problem down the road if this next coach doesn't work out. So I don't know what your insights are on that, but I will tell the fans, support the coach, be behind the coach. We're the University of Florida. We got a talent pool we got a pool of talent here in the state of Florida. So go Gators, and I just wanted to get your opinion on if a booster has that much power, what do you think about changing that in the future? How could we change that?
Okay. Thank you for your call, Quentin. Look, I'm not in the room. I know people who are on the committee, and they have done their due diligence, and I don't know about one booster, two boosters, having more power. I do know this: money talks. Money talks, always has. And the process came out. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to blame Strickland. They're going to blame boosters for not getting Lane Kiffin. And, I can tell you this from people I've spoken to. There was sentiment that Lane Kiffin wanted to come here. And for some reason, it did not work out in that negotiation process. And he's still talking to Ole Miss. There's a chance he could even stay there. Because remember, this was the day he was supposed to make his decision. We will see. Mabry, hello.
Hey, I just wanted to say that we ended the season on a good note. I'm calling with 3 generations of Gators on the phone from our way home from the game where we sat in the same seats for 5 generations. So from someone who sat in the swamp for a while, I'm curious what the future of our team looks like with all these seniors leaving.
Great question. And I don't think anybody can answer that because, A, you have seniors leaving, Mabry, and B, you have the portal. We won't know that until we see, well, there's 3 things. A, the portal, who stays and who goes. B, who Florida acquires in the portal. And then C, the signing day for high schools begins December 2nd. And then how many of those kids stay? It's been amazing to me that through the Billy Napier firing and all that, almost all those kids have stayed. We will see if that sticks.
Amen.
Okay?
All right. Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you for your call. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Steve, listen, I've never talked to you, but just to give you a little credibility, I'm a proud University of Florida journalism and communications major under John Paul Jones, my dean. And just want to let you know that Otis Boggs was my hero growing up. And in his later life, I became a good buddy of Otis Boggs. Anyway, listen, he was just a great guy. Bless his heart. Listen, I just want to say we need to listen to Shane Matthews. And whoever our new head coach is, by golly, we need to go to Kerwin Bell and say, Kerwin, we want you to be the offensive coordinator at the University of Florida because, listen, Kerwin knows football, knows quarterbacks. I wanted to hear your thoughts about that.
He does. He also has a son who is at Pittsburgh. It's interesting. They just signed him, I believe, last year to a contract extension with a raise. Doesn't mean he can't get out of it.
But listen, Steve, I'll tell you, we need, Scott Strickland needs to be listening to Steve Spurrier and Shane Matthews and those kind of people because they know how to win football games. And listen, Shaney is one of my heroes. He's just a great guy, and he knows football, and his heart is a Gator. So I would just encourage Strickland, who I have no use for, to listen to Shane because Shane's got a lot of good thoughts about that. But listen, man, I love you and enjoy talking to you and just wanted to pass my thoughts along to you, buddy.
Okay, sure
Go
did.
Gators.
Yep, thank you, Jeff. Bring Evan here. Hi, Evan. Welcome to the Extra Point.
Hey, Steve. Was just wondering about your thoughts about this. So I think giving Summerall a 7-year, $10 million a year deal is pretty wild. That's kind of what the rumors are. But what do you think about a stopgap where we have a 1-year rental, be the coach, and even if we punt next season, we just make sure we're getting the right guy? Because ultimately, I don't think Summerall is the answer by any measure. He's probably in my bottom 3 candidates overall. So just wanted your thoughts on that.
Oh, boy. I don't think you can afford to have a rental because how is that going to attract recruits and players? They're not going to want to play for a rental at all. And you're going to be in worse shape than you are now, in my opinion. So now, as far as the 7 years, many people, when Napier was hired, questioned the length of his contract and questioned the amount of money. He was a sought-after commodity at the time. People forget that. I'm not sure how sought-after Summerall is, but his name was linked to Auburn and some other places as well. The problem with this is if Lane Kiffin were not there, Evan, I think people would look a little more solidly at anybody else. But because his name is there, and with his track record, just about anybody else is chopped liver. That's the problem here.
I think the issue really is just getting another G5 out of Louisiana right after after Strickland said he was looking for a Power 4 head coach, and then just doing the exact opposite of that. I don't see how you can sell that to the fans saying, hey, we just brought in another guy who basically had the same record as Napier did at Louisiana and basically had the same ranked offense, and pretty much every stat lines up with how Napier was at Louisiana. So I just don't see how you can sell that one.
Well, what we don't know is also, did he reach out to a Lincoln Riley? Did he reach out to to Louisville's coach, Brom? We don't know that, right? And I hope, without naming names, that if Summerall is the coach and Strickland has a press conference and he gets asked that, he would at least shed some light on that. I think the committee, if they didn't do that, or at least make a phone call, because again, those are free now, you're not doing your due diligence. So that's going to be the problem here. We'll never probably really know what the committee did, who they reached out to, and how serious they were in making those questions to them. Okay?
Okay, fair
Thank
enough.
you, Evan. Appreciate your call. Yes, sir. Clay, welcome to the Extra Point. Clay, go ahead. Clay's not there. Catherine, welcome to the show.
Hi, Steve. How you doing tonight?
Okay.
Hey, great win. Good to get us off the season with that big win. I keep hearing Summerall. If Summerall doesn't happen, who's next?
That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, I think he is the guy, and he's supposed to decide by, they're playing right now, and they would be in the conference championship game if they win tonight, and they're playing a terrible Charlotte team, so they're going to win that game. But look, if it isn't him, I'm not aware of who, the next person would be, because I'm told it's him. Now we'll see.
Well, I'm going for Will Stein again. I called last week about him.
Yep.
From Oregon.
Again, I don't know who's been reached out to, but I said this during the week. It doesn't cost you anything to inquire about whoever, right? Because the problem with Summerall is if he coached at, I don't know, any place but Louisiana, he'd be more acceptable. But he's going to be linked, as several have done tonight, to Billy Napier because he's in the same state and, coaches at about the same place. So he's going to have to if it is him, he's going to have to overcome that stigma that some fans have towards that.
True. And I like the fact, we need to get behind whoever they end up with, but we don't want to have to go through what we just went through for another 3.5, almost 4 years.
No, of course not. Now, again, I think Summerall is going to hire an offensive coordinator, and, if that offensive coordinator is good and works out, then, a lot will be forgiven.
I like it. Okay, let's stay positive.
Okay. Thank you
Go
for your
Gators.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More calls to come on the Extra Point post-game show as you listen on WRUF.
And now for a special announcement from Steve Spurrier.
Spurrier's Gridiron gift cards are on sale for 20% off. You can go to spurriers.com and order a digital card or stop by a restaurant in Celebration Point and pick up some today for the Gators and the people that love good food in your life. Use the code GC20 and get 20% off. That's right, 20% off gift cards with the code GC20.
Get yours today through December 1st at Spurriers.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The defending national champion Florida Gators are tipping off another great season. Would you like a championship entertainment experience in your home? The pros at Electronics World can connect you with Sony, LG, Samsung, Yamaha, Martin Logan, Marantz, Bowers & Wilkins, Sonos, Monitor Audio, and more. So you can immerse yourself in every slam dunk and three-pointer. From concept to design and installation, count on EW for the assist with your home entertainment. Electronics World in Gainesville or online at electronicsworld.net.
Hey Gator fans, the Florida Department of Corrections wants you on our winning team. You could earn a starting salary of $22 per hour plus up to a $6,000 hiring bonus at many locations statewide. As a correctional officer, you can start a stable career in a controlled, team-oriented environment. No experience is required, and training is provided. Kickstart your career today and make a positive impact on your community. Visit FLDOCjobs.com to apply today. That's FLDOCjobs.com.
Gator fans, the holiday season is here, and that means it's time to help out Santa Claus and stock up on all your orange and blue Gator gear for family and friends. And the best place to make that happen is Rally House Gainesville. Located at 1680 West University Avenue, just blocks from the stadium, Rally House is your home for officially licensed Gator gear. Jerseys, hats, t-shirts, tumblers, you name it, they have it. Their selection is outrageous. Rally House Gainesville, your city, your house, Rally House.
Sean Kelly here, Gators fan and Bud Light man. 3 of my favorite things are coming later this week. Thanksgiving leftovers, beating that school out west, and having an ice-cold Bud Light after hopefully a Gators win over the Knowles. I mean, why not? We fans have earned it this year. So let's have those bragging rights served with those 4 simple ingredients that make Bud Light easy to enjoy. Bud Light Beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's the Extra Point with Steve Russell. Presented by Spurrier's Gridiron Grill on WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF mobile app.
He is running mean tonight. I mean, he always runs mean, but he's really running mean tonight.
I like angry ball. 2nd and 4 at the Seminole 15. Gators in the one blood, big red bus red zone. Sturdivant motions back toward the formation to the right side. Lagway hands it off to Baugh. Baugh in traffic, should have the first down. He does. He's just shy of the 10. And that right there, as it's measured out, puts Jadan Baugh at 1,001 yards.
Congratulations to him. But a heck of a season for him. Welcome back to the Extra Point. And we got a bunch of calls to take. Don't forget, if there is a coaching change, we will be on the air with that. We'll bring you whatever happens, whether it's a press conference, reaction, all of that. Who knows? Could it be tomorrow? Could it be next week? We will find out when that happens. We will have coverage for you. Greg, welcome to the Extra Point.
Steve, hey, just want to give a shout-out to Ball, the O-line. They were balling today, and it's always great to beat the nasty Knowles, grabbing helmets, face masks, snatching people. So when you thump them like that, it's always great. I just want to say some statistics, Steve, just as a local Gainesvillian all my life. Florida football is the number 1 money-generating sport for this whole area. Everybody knows it. Scott Strickland's had 4 losing seasons in 5 years. So what does he do after McElwain? He goes in Sun Belt and up-and-comer Billy Napier. We didn't get Lane Kiffin. We're all disappointed. So what's Scott Strickland's solution? Let's go back to the Sun Belt and try again. Just say it out loud, Steve. It sounds ridiculous. Love your show. Go Gators.
All right, Greg, thank you. Again, we will see. And don't forget, with this big Gator win, the party going on now at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill will continue tomorrow at brunch starting at 11 o'clock. You can enjoy bottomless mimosas, a made-to-order omelet station, shrimp and grits, shredded short rib, and so much more. You'll love Jerry's seasonal sangria, too. Brunch at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill has become a Gator tradition. Tomorrow, every Saturday and Sunday, 11 till 3 at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point. Chris, hello.
Steve, thanks so much for taking my call. Thanks for doing what you do. We really enjoyed tonight's win tonight. My little girls got to go. They're 3-0 when they watch the Gators live. My son,
wow,
he comes to me more often, so he's not as lucky. But it was a lot of fun. I was just telling them they were kind of witnessing history as Baugh started in beast mode, ended in beast mode, and it was just really fun to teach the girls about what a running game does for a football team, even when the yards are kind of close, which we all know about. But, kind of want to, I guess, kind of discuss the coaching a little bit. A lot of the callers have been on that tonight. You seem to have a beat on this that I'm not very comfortable with, and I think the last caller, I echo his sentiment with going to the Sun Belt twice in a row. But, looking at our coaches that we've hired that have done extraordinarily well, you have Spurrier and Meyer, both kind of champions in their own right, powerful conferences, did a great job before they got here. Then we hire Mullen in what has been kind of a coaching carousel or revolving door over the last few years. And I think the Mullen issue really puts a lot of light on Strickland in a very bad way, because he had a lot of negative things to say about the support he didn't get. And I think for a guy who was winning at a SEC program and then having trouble competing with the old NIL or before NIL, the old recruiting and everything else, he did well in the transfer portal. He did very well with what he had, but he was very frustrated and said so a number of times about kind of the deal he got here. And we the prior AD didn't really address that well. And now we're going into this coaching situation that seems less than ideal, is the nicest way to say our next hire. And, aside from, I hope you can comment on that. And the other thing I hope you can comment on is, do we know how long this guy's contract will be, being that he is an unproven commodity in the Power Five?
No, I would imagine it would be anywhere from 4 to 7 years, depending on, what's negotiated. And remember, he has an agent like, any coach does. Sure. But I would also caution, Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer certainly worked out well. They came from Duke and Utah. It isn't like they came from, Notre Dame and Alabama. It worked out.
They crushed those conferences. They crushed those conferences when they were there. I mean, Spurrier won.
All I'm saying to you is, Napier won where he was too. So I'm just saying, let's not do revisionist history, because Steve did a great job at Duke resurrecting that program, and Urban did a really good job at Utah, but they both did not come from big-time schools, much like Lane Kiffin is coming from an Ole Miss, which traditionally has not been particularly good.
Fair enough. For me, it's kind of comparing the apples to oranges when you're out of this conference. I think we missed out big time on the USF coach, because I think that would have been a potentially good second hire if we weren't going to get Kiffin. But I do got to, kind of echo the sentiment of most of the folks that are calling, that are apprehensive regarding the potential.
And that I understand. That I understand. That's a good word. If you want to say you're apprehensive, I get it. Because of, what's transpired. But I just hope that will go away when that new person is hired and everybody gets behind the dude and, see where the chips fall. Chris, thank you for your call. I got to run some other calls.
We'll get behind them.
All right, thank you. Clay, welcome to the show.
Hey, Steve, thanks for having me on. I'm going to kind of echo what the previous caller said, as well as a couple other things. Again, I'm still trying to make sense of, okay, let's say we whiff on Kiffin. He wants to stay at Ole Miss or go to LSU. I'm really trying to make sense of why we go to an athletic, like a coach who coaches Tulane, who's not even the best team in the American Conference, and is practically identical to Napier in every category of offensive ratings, defensive ratings. I don't understand what the reasoning for that is, with all the available Power 4 head coaches, as well as the
let me stop you there.
Coordinators.
Who's available?
Brent Key, Jed Fish.
Well, but we don't know that they're available. See, you're making that assumption. You're making that assumption, A, we don't know, and B, we don't know if they were reached out to and they said no.
Okay, but regardless, why?
Well, it's not regardless. That's a fact.
Okay, let's say we don't know that they're available. Let's say they're not available.
Okay.
John Sumrall, out of all the available coordinators, let's say, for example, Why him? He's identical to Billy Napier in every conceivable fashion.
No, he's not. You're wrong there because he has an offensive coordinator. So right away, you're not correct.
But their when their offensive ratings were identical, there's no explosiveness or creativity in what he runs, and his defense is very conservative.
Well, they're 9-2.
Yes, because they play in a crappy conference.
Well, then we will find out.
That's very top.
We will find out.
Heavy.
I mean, again, I'm going to say this. Let's say he's the guy. You either get behind him or give your tickets away. Simple. And I get it. And until we hear from the athletic director, where, if he wishes to divulge it, where they reached out to, who they reached out to, then, you're kind of, where you are. I mean, he does have, I think he played at Kentucky, I think.
Right.
But, we will see. He's young. He's 42, 43, whatever he is. So, we'll see. And again, if he hires an offensive coordinator here who's good, then that will also, if he allows that coordinator to do his job, that takes away some of the concerns you might have.
One more question. Do you have the confidence, based on the track record of Scott Strickland and him managing the athletic department, do you have the confidence that he would, one, allow Summerall, if he were to be hired to do that, or like with available resources and whatnot, and you have the confidence in him that he's going to actually allow him to hire capable coordinators?
Yes, because I wouldn't come here if if I wasn't told that. I don't think any coach would.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you again,
yes, sir.
Steve. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate your call. Art, I think, is next. Hi, Art.
Hey, how's it going? I'm going to speculate because Strickland's never going to tell us who they interviewed or not. But Marcus Freeman, Brent Key, Jeff Brom, Lane Kiffin, and Clark Lee all said no. This guy is the sixth choice. We're so desperate instead. Strickland just gets stuffed in the locker time and time again in the negotiating table. He just wants to latch himself to the stadium deal with his buddy Gary Condren. That's who calls all the shots anyway. FireScottStrickland.com.
All right. Thank you, Art. Mark, hello.
Second, what Art said, but also I want to just point out how ridiculous this hire is going to be because no one even knows his last name.
Did anybody know Urban Meyer's last name? How many people knew Urban Meyer when he was hired at Florida? Raise your hand. Not a lot. Geraldine, hello.
Hi, how you doing tonight? You're having a rough night already.
Oh, no, it's been a good night.
I just want to say I am very proud of our team tonight. They played their rear ends off. I mean, they gave it their all. I wish they would have done it in some of the other games, but that's neither here nor there. I will give my opinion on this supposed probably going to be higher. I think it's a big mistake. I don't think from what I read about him and looked at the stats, I'm not impressed. And also, I knew who Urban Meyer's last name was when he was hired here.
Okay. Did you think he would be successful when he came here?
I thought he would be because he did a good job. He was at Utah, right?
Well, he's done a good job at Tulane.
No. Well, not as good. I don't think
he's 9-2. He's 9-2. He's going to play in a conference championship game.
It's not the same type of league.
What league was Utah in when Urban Meyer coached?
They were in the Pac-10, I believe.
No, they weren't.
Or were they?
No, they were not.
The mountain.
Hello. Bingo.
I'm trying to.
You win the board.
That's okay. I've been around for 50 years. I've been a Gator, graduated in 75. And, I've been to the 0-10 seasons and the 4-5 seasons and whatnot. But I just can't believe that would be the only person that would be available.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you for your call. Marty, welcome to the show.
Hey, Steve. First of all, a lot of talk about the future coaches, but what a great game and what a way to finish the season. The only thing that bothered me was I was flipping it around between the radio broadcast and the television broadcast, and one of the analysts said, the next coach, first thing he should do is call Baugh and give him a blank check. That's what's wrong with college football right now. But as far as the coaches go, I'm one of the few that is glad Kiffin is not coming. The circus around him right now, and in 2 years he might be in the NFL. What concerns me is, since when is the coach bigger than the program? You know, Spurrier brought Florida into a national spotlight, and Meyer was able to carry it on because of all the talent that he had in getting also Tim Tebow to come. But since then, it's always been about who's the next coach that's going to resurrect the program. And we've reached a level now where a lot of coaches are turning us down because we're just not the program that we once were. So the Gator fans need to get off this, I don't like this coach, or I don't like that coach, and just let's settle in with somebody and get this program running the way it can be with the kind of conference we're in, with the ability to be able to get any kind of player we want and move forward and stop talking about the past and the next Spurrier. I mean, if I was Lane Kiffin, I wouldn't want to be the next Steve Spurrier. I'd want someone to come and say, I want to be the next Lane Kiffin. So I don't blame Kiffin for not coming. I don't, and I don't think he would last. I don't think he would stay. The expectation level would be so high. If we didn't win 10, 11 games and go to the playoffs next year, he'd bolt in 2 years. So I'll let you go, but I just think that all this talk about they don't like this coach and they don't even know anything about him. They don't know who his staff's going to be. They don't know who he's going to get as far as recruits. And this is what's wrong with this program, and it's why the boosters are split right down the middle again and dividing up, and the fans are dictating what's going on.
All right.
Let's get back to being the University of Florida. Thank you.
Marty, thank you for your call. By the way, the Iron Bowl get a little tighter. 17, or Alabama just kicked the field goal. It's 20-13 now. That's in the third quarter. Let's see. Dr. Gill, hello.
Hey, Steve, I'm watching Tulane versus Charlotte, so thanks for the update on the other station so that now I know what's going on there. Really enjoy your show. I get a chance to see you every once in a while at the bookstore, and thanks for doing the show after the game. It's great. I feel really bad that we have so many people who feel like they're intelligent about a coaching maneuver when they don't even know what conference the coach is in and saying he's in the Sun Belt. When I remember, Billy Napier was number 15 in the nation in the AP poll when he was hired. He wasn't a terrible hire at the time. He didn't turn out the way we wanted it to, but that happens sometimes. There's no sure shot except for Nick Saban and possibly Kirby Smart. So going there, let me ask you a question, okay? Do you think in college basketball the University of San Francisco is a blue blood?
Correct.
Okay, we got a coach from there who won a national championship. Do you think that Wichita State is a name synonymous with college softball? We got a coach from there who won 2 national championships. Would you hire an assistant from Clemson to coach your baseball team? We got a national championship. Would you hire a coach from Marshall to come to coach your basketball team? We got 2 national champions from him. That's 6 national championships from guys who were coming from places that our people who are calling in today wouldn't have hired because they didn't do much and they weren't in a big program. So I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I'll get behind whoever we have. If we don't take John Summerall, I think Auburn's looking at him as well. Personally, I kind of like Jed Fish also, but if it's going to be Summerall, it's going to be Summerall. But if you listen to your show, any coach listens to your show for an hour, they're talking about these coaches that we didn't ask to come here, like Dillingham and Lincoln Riley. Maybe those guys got online and saw the kind of venom that some of these people go online with before the coach is even here, So it's pretty toxic. So if somebody just comes here and they're halfway decent, we should be pretty happy to get them.
All right. Well, you actually stole my thunder. You stole my thunder for Monday.
Well, I'm sorry. We've known each other too long. I guess that's going to happen.
Because that is historically some of what's happened here, and that's factual. It doesn't mean they all work out. They don't. But what you just talked about is absolutely a fact in terms of where they came from and what they did in terms of their success at Florida.
Right. And the other thing about Strickland is he's a fine gentleman. I kind of know him a little bit. He is not the football director of operations. He's the athletic director for the university. He's the steward of the money. He takes care of everything. He has a lot of things to do, and a lot of us don't hibernate from January to August. And he got us the most beautiful college baseball stadium in the country. He got us a coach that won a national championship in basketball that really got this city on its ears a few months ago. So let's not do this Scott Strickland dumping. He's head and shoulders above his predecessor when it comes to facilities and moving everything forward, in my opinion, at this university.
All right, Gil, thank you.
That's all
Appreciate you. All right, thank you. Porter, what's up?
Hey, really quickly, first off, I know it's tongue-in-cheek, but any of these coaches that we would be considering, if they're even listening, much less paying attention to local sports talk, not that ours is supposed to be good, but anyway, I wouldn't want that coach. But I see his point. I understand what he's saying. As the caller talking about not knowing the last name, I think it was just a bad attempt at humor because of Summerall not being Summerall, but being SUM, whatever, RAL, I think. But I don't know. I just maybe I'll give him a little break. I don't know. Maybe not. But I had a question for you. Now that we have the whole season behind us, which game stands out looking back, not the time, but as the one big shocker?
Texas.
FSU over Alabama.
Texas. You mean overall, the season, you mean the college season?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Florida,
absolutely that game.
Florida State over Bama?
Yes.
Florida over Texas?
No, Florida State over Bama.
UCLA over Penn State, which was the largest spread.
But Penn State ended up
Florida.
not being,
exactly.
I think they're 6-6. So, Florida State beating Alabama.
That's it was 13.5 points, and they won outright. And looking back, it's like, you don't know until the season's over. I think Alabama outscored the other going into the night, by 208 points, including the 2-point loss to Oklahoma. So, I don't. At the time, the game it looked like FSU's back. Maybe like it's a funny game. I don't know. This isn't making it more predictable. It's making it less. But Bill Gators, be safe. Have a good holiday season. Thanks.
Porter, thank you. Andrew, welcome to the Extra Point.
Yes, good evening, Steve. It was really good to hear the enthusiasm at the stadium and people seemingly having time of their life rooting on their favorite team. It was nice to finish the year the way we did. Too bad we were engulfed in this silliness, what I consider a bunch of silliness with getting what coach over what coach. But, Steve, I'll leave you with this. And I'm glad you're back doing your shows like everybody else is. But I'll leave you with this. University of Florida is such an aspirational university. And, like everybody wants an aspirational coach to come to their aspirational university. I don't want to overuse the word, but just like there's only one UF, there's not that many of those big-time aspirational coaches. So sometimes the pool shrinks. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and then we'll take some more calls, a final bank of calls as we continue with the Extra Point postgame show here on WRUF.
And now for a special announcement from Steve Spurrier.
Spurrier's Gridiron gift cards are on sale for 20% off. You can go to Spurriers.com and order a digital card or stop by a restaurant in Celebration Point and pick up some today for the Gators and the people that love good food in your life. Use the code GC20 and get 20% off. That's right, 20% off gift cards with the code GC20.
Get yours today through December 1st at Spurriers.com.
Gator fans, the holiday season is here, and that means it's time to help out Santa Claus and stock up on all your orange and blue Gator gear for family and friends. And the best place to make that happen is Rally House Gainesville. Located at 1680 West University Avenue, just blocks from the stadium, Rally House is your home for officially licensed Gator gear. Jerseys, hats, t-shirts, tumblers, you name it, they have it. Their selection is outrageous. Rally House Gainesville, your city, your house. Rally House.
Ready to take on the outdoors with a new Polaris? Then gear up at Polaris of Gainesville, your #1 family-owned and operated marine and power sports destination. The 2026 Polaris models are rolling in, and the 2025 models must go. From the rugged Polaris RZR to the hard-working Polaris Ranger to the trail-tackling Sportsman, we've got huge rebates, extra in-house savings on leftover 2025 models, and financing as low as 0% for 60 months. So what are you waiting for? Get outdoors today with Polaris of Gainesville.
Warning, driver must be at least 16 years old with a valid driver's license to operate. Read, understand, and follow your owner's manual. All riders should take a safety training course.
At Polaris of Gainesville, your family-owned Kawasaki headquarters, the thrill is waiting and the savings are huge. Save thousands on new Kawasaki motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides built for speed and performance. Ride the 2025 Kawasaki Ninja 650. Sleek, fast, and reliable. With over 80 Kawasaki machines in stock, we're ready to move them now. Experience unbeatable power, precision, and value today. Stop by Polaris of Gainesville, where business meets family. Highway 441 between Gainesville and Alachua. Online at polarisofgainesville.com.
Get ready.
Give yourselves a hand.
Welcome to Rockville 2026 is crashing into Daytona. WRUF is sending you to experience 4 days of nonstop music and mayhem with a 4-day general admission pass. Tune in Monday through Friday from noon until 6 p.m. and listen for the Welcome to Rockville Artist of the Week. Maybe it's My Chemical Romance. Could be Buck Cherry. How about The Offspring? Maybe it's Stained or Rise Against. Download the WRUF mobile app for the inside info on when we play the Welcome to Rockville artist. When you hear it, be caller number 9. And you could be heading to Daytona's loudest weekend. Welcome to Rockville from WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, where Gator Nation rocks.
Well, thank you guys for coming out to the Rock Show.
You're listening to The Extra Point with Steve Russell, presented by Spurrier's Gridiron Grill on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF mobile app.
We want people who can win championships at the University of Florida. That's going to be our goal. We want somebody who can come in here, be a strong leader, and win championships. And like I said, there's probably people from a lot of different backgrounds that could have the potential to do that. It is tricky. There are 3 current coaches in college football who have won national championships. So unless one of those 3 decide that they want to come and we think they're the right fit, we're going to have to be making a projection somewhere along the line.
That's Scott Strickland. We're going to have to make a projection along the line, right? Let me also tell you something Greg McElroy said recently. I believe it was Friday. He was on a radio station in Birmingham. He believed that Sumrall was a better fit at Auburn than he was at Florida. He said, quote, "You got a good guy, a good candidate who has appeal towards Auburn. The longer you drag your feet, the more likely other schools are going to be in the mix." Well, here's Florida. This is Greg McElroy. Quote, "You thought Florida, for example, would be prohibitive for Sumrall because of the parallels that exist between Sumrall's track record and pedigree and Billy Napier's track record and pedigree. Can't take another G5 coach from Louisiana, can you? Now, all of a sudden, Florida's very interested in Sumrall, and Florida's a better job than Auburn." That's Greg McElroy. So again, we just have to see what transpires here. Okay, just so you know, and by the way, thank you tonight for the calls. It's been great. Appreciate the tenor of the calls because, again, we don't want to have anybody call here and have them be subject to, University Police Department calling you for saying something you shouldn't say. So that's appreciated. And I'm trying to take the calls in the order that they come. So if you've been on hold a while, please understand I'm taking them in the best order I can. Hunter is that next call. Hunter, hello.
I first of all just want to thank you for doing the great job you always do. And even though it wasn't the season we wanted, it's always a pleasure to listen to you and the way you deal with some of these just crazy callers.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. I'm in a weird scenario that I have family in Louisiana, and I grew up in Daytona Beach, been a Gator fan since the mid-'70s, and this guy's 100% different than Napier if we do get Summerall. He will hire coordinators. He wants to win. After losing to Florida in the bowl game, he said he wished he could coach a team that could have players like Florida. So I think if he's our guy, we got to rally behind him. He's going to make the right decisions. And who knows what this guy's going to do with the type of caliber players we can get. I wasn't a Todd Golden fan, and he proved me wrong. And hopefully Summerall, if he's our guy, proves a bunch of us wrong.
Well, I think that's the hope, if it indeed is him. And look, when Todd Golden was hired, if you looked into him, analytics and all of that, young guy, but again, he came from where? That not exactly Duke or
San Francisco.
Yeah. So that worked out. But, the knock on Scott has been that a lot of his other hires have not worked out, and including football. So, I understand the sentiment.
Well, thanks again for a great season.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Chris, you're next. Hello.
Hey, yeah, great. Good evening. I would just like to ask, when did Gary Condren become our athletic director, and why did we hire Turnkey to begin with to go out and do a coaching search when all we needed to do was just go out and ask Gary who we needed to go out and hire as our next head football coach?
Well, it's not quite as simple as that. I get where you're going. You do need money. I mean, that does play into the equation.
But not here in the future. As things are starting to change, we don't need the money because that's all changing.
How do you think that's changing? How do you feel that you're going to need more money than ever?
Once again, when did we hire Gary Condren to take over Turnkey's job as going out to do the hiring for our coach?
Well, maybe Scott Strickland will answer that. Thank you for your call. Chris, number 2, hello.
Hey, Steve, want to point out something to you. Steve Spurrier had the fun and gun. He was a UF alumni. He had something different and unique. Urban Meyer had the spread option. He went 13-0 at Utah and won the Fiesta Bowl. There's no comparison to John Summerall or anybody in hiring those guys. Those guys were home runs, and we knew. Well,
yeah, but they're home runs because they worked out, Chris. Please don't tell me that when Urban Meyer was hired, everybody in Gator Nation knew who he was and was excited about him. Okay, that's just not. I was here. That's not the Urban. The hope was because of what Urban did at Utah, and he was successful. That was the case, and we all know what Steve did. But come on.
You don't remember the whole Notre Dame going after him?
Sure.
And he was the hottest thing in football?
Yes, I do.
There's no comparison to John Summerall. I'm sorry. And here's the thing about coordinators. Coordinators might be great, and if they're good, unless we win a title, they're going to be gone after a year. Then you got to hire new ones, okay? And fans know what's going on. I could have called Billy Napier's offense for him almost every play. I know so many fans that could have because it was – plain as day. We needed a home run
coaching, Chris.
Before we needed a home run before we hired Napier. And the thing is, like you said, you got to make those calls. Strickland thinks he's at Mississippi State still, and he's acted the same way. He got lucky with Todd Golden. Granted, thank God, but that was a lucky hire.
Well, sometimes better to be lucky than good.
Well, he's been lucky once out of all his hires. Look at their math.
All right. Thank you for your call, Chris. Rick, welcome.
You have me on the air?
Go ahead, Rick.
Okay, yeah, my question is, I just want to point out that, Billy Napier put that team together that stuck together. So even though he wasn't successful in the win and loss column, he built a culture there that was at least deserves a thank you from the Gator fans for putting together a bunch of guys that stuck together all through the end, number one. Number two is, I don't think Gator fans are all that bad because whoever goes to LSU, if you don't win a championship within a few years, you're going to be out of there. And, I've been a Gator fan and season ticket holder for over 30 years. I'll be there no matter who comes. I love my Gators, and go Gators.
All right. Thank you, Rick. Joey, welcome to the show.
Hey, Steve. I see that you're also a New York Jets fan, so I apologize for that.
Yeah, I do a lot of times, yeah.
So, one, we got to get Mendoza, and then two, we need to go 0-17 next year and draft Jeremiah Smith.
Okay, we can maybe do that, and we'll see, because you don't play 17 games. Oh, I guess you were talking about the Jets. Okay, yeah, I guess. But here's the other thing. You're not going to get Mendoza and well, I take that back. You got first-round picks, but they're going to be so high, Joey, you're not going to get them. But I hear you, and I'm just going to say this to end the night tonight. I get frustration. That's my team. But we will see what happens. And once again, if there is an announcement, we will be on air with it, your reaction to it. It may be tomorrow. It may be next week. We will see. One quick score update again in the Iron Bowl, Alabama 2013 over Auburn. And isn't it funny? Now Auburn's looking at DJ Durkin. And I love DJ Durkin because he coached here. I've always gotten along with him. But remember when he coached at Maryland? And he was the head coach there, and what happened with that, incident so I mean, just because you didn't do something, 8-10 years ago, and I hear this too. Dan Mullen, he was 34-15, got run out of town. So 34-15 wasn't good enough. I think a lot of people would kill for that right now. But anyway, that's it. Thank you for all your calls tonight. Alan and Giselle, thank you for taking the calls and producing. Again, we will stick with this, and if there's any changes made, we will come on the air and talk to you about them. Thanks for being with us all season long on the Extra Point Postgame Show. It's been enjoyable. Wish the season were better, but we'll see what happens between now and next year, and that could be an awful lot. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. So long, everybody.
At the UPS Store, we get it. Being a small biz owner requires grit and hustle, but you don't have to do it alone. We've got your back. You put your heart and soul into your biz, we put ours into packing and shipping.